Tonight, only on NBC2 News at 6. An exclusive investigation. NBC2 dives down under the Sanibel Causeway Bridge.
Probably 3/4 of the whole structure is undermined.
And the bridge continues to erode while repairs wait.
We're very cognizant of the public safety.
NBC2's Mark Greenblatt gives you an in-depth look at the damage beneath the causeway.
Times that I think people know what they're driving across.
See for yourself what lies beneath. Tonight, only on NBC2 News at 6.
An exclusive NBC2 investigation shows the deteriorating Sanibel Drawbridge. We go underwater to expose the damage for the first time. We found serious problems, and tonight, after county officials watch our video, they take action.
The Sanibel Causeway is the only route to one of Southwest Florida's most popular tourist destinations. Tonight we go underwater to show you it's in worse shape than ever reported before. Good evening, I'm Kelly Burns.
Hello again, I'm Craig Wolf. In some places, the ground is literally washing out from underneath its supports. Investigative reporter Mark Greenblatt joins us live with his exclusive report.
The Sanibel Drawbridge is 40 years old, and Father Time hasn't been kind to it. Increasing amounts of traffic and the steady pounding of the Gulf of Mexico have caused serious problems here. NBC2 hired an expert diver who lives on Sanibel Island and is familiar with the destructive current here to make the trip down to the bottom of the channel. Here's a chilling, first-of-its-kind glimpse into the damage down below.
It's bad. They need to work on it. They need to do something fast.
When Rusty Farst reached the bottom of the bridge's concrete bascule piers, he found a problem.
This is part of the crack right here. You can see it undermined.
But this is no small crack. We found an entire cavern opening up that shouldn't be here. That's the concrete from the bridge's pier on top. It's not touching the channel bottom anymore. We measured a 2-foot gap between the pier and the ground below.
It's big enough to crawl in. I crawled in. I got my torso inside underneath of the bascular bridge.
You could get your whole body underneath the bridge.
Fins and all.
This is the bascule pier our diver could swim under. It's on the west end island side of the bridge. He found the cavern opening up on the channel side of the pier. That's the part of the bridge where boats actually travel through. The underwater damage isn't limited. Our ruler, measuring 3 feet in length, doesn't come close to covering the length of the gap.
It's very wide. It goes 3/4 of the way across the bascule.
When the ground washes away, as it did here, engineers call that scouring. If scouring becomes too severe, it can lead to major problems. In April of 1987, this bridge on Interstate 90, just west of Albany, New York, collapsed, killing 10 people. The scouring here undermined the pilings that held the bridge up. In March of '95, this Southern California bridge on Interstate 5 collapsed, killing 7. Also, 8 years ago, state inspectors told them about serious erosion problems here. The state put the drawbridge on a watch list of critical bridges. Engineering reports from July of 2000 predict a major storm here would completely undermine the foundation around the bascule piers.
Is this bridge safe to drive over?
Yes,
How can you be certain?
from all the previous inspections.
The head of Lee County's Department of Transportation says even if the concrete is completely undermined, the bascule pier is held up by strong concrete pilings that go deep into the ground. We found those pilings he's talking about, but we also found another concern.
Nobody really knows if those pilings are stable. They don't know how far they go into the ground. They don't know what kind of foundation they lie on. That's because when they built the bridge back in the 1960s, nobody kept any records for that.
We could not find any records of what the depth to which the piles were driven, so it's really an unknown how much embedment's still in the sea bottom of the piles.
What's more, county tests from earlier this year show pilings around some areas of the drawbridge have structural problems themselves.
The reinforcing steel that's embedded in the concrete, it's spalling, and the bond in between the steel and the concrete is disintegrating with that spalling, and that's a critical concern to us also.
The state told the county to take action here 3 years ago, telling it to install spare pilings and specific countermeasures to provide more support and prevent the foundation from washing away anymore. To date, Lee County hasn't installed a single countermeasure or followed through on any state recommendations, which worries the Sanibel resident who brought these warning signs back from down below for you to see.
After being there and and seeing it firsthand and actually being able to crawl in a scoured out area underneath what's holding up our drawbridge, I'm quite concerned.
Kelly, good evening. Some Lee County commissioners that we talked to telling us tonight that they're absolutely convinced it's time to build a brand new drawbridge here. They're hoping that our underwater video will help silence some longtime critics who haven't supported the idea in the past.
It's a troubling sight for almost everyone who sees it. The erosion under this part of the Sanibel Drawbridge has become so severe, our diver could fit his entire body underneath it.
Well, my first initial thoughts are, oh my goodness.
Lee County Commissioner Bob Janes lives on Sanibel Island and crosses over the bridge on a regular basis. He watched our report and told us commissioners never knew the problem was so severe.
I guess your diver discovered that it was a lot more serious than we had thought.
Now Janes, a longtime advocate of repairing the bridge instead of replacing it, says he's changed his mind.
It's too bad that we have to go down that route now, but that's in fact what your investigation has revealed. We need to spend more time looking at alternatives now.
Now the debate will center on what kind of bridge to build here and how fast to build it.
Residents on Sanibel Island want to make sure their voice is heard when the county decides what kind of bridge to build here.
I hope there'll be several public hearings so that there'll be a real opportunity for people to express their views.
On Tuesday, Sanibel City Councilman Dick Walsh will ask council to approve a resolution and send a message to Lee County.
I want to replace it with a drawbridge similar to what we have, as do 91.2% of the people on Sanibel, as they express their wishes in a referendum.
He also wants a citizens committee to study what to do next. But the damage down below might not allow that to happen.
But it can't be a long, protracted discussion in which groups of citizens or whatnot try to micromanage the project. We don't have time for that.
Both sides do agree they'll do whatever it takes to ensure public safety.
Commissioners John Albion and Andy Coy both told us tonight that they want to put this bridge replacement on the fast track and not get bogged down in any continuing public debate over what kind of bridge to build here. In the past, the city of Sanibel had threatened legal action if it didn't get the kind of bridge that it wanted built here, although tonight we're being told by City Councilman Dick Walsh that, to his knowledge, there is no ongoing threat of legal action. Back to you.
Sanibel Causeway has the attention of U.S. Congressman Porter Goss of Sanibel. Investigative reporter Mark Greenblatt joins us live from the Causeway. And Mark, what does Congressman Goss plan to do?
Kelly, Congressman Goss says that he's going to do everything he can with all the federal agencies involved to speed up the permitting process to build a new bridge here. Normally that process can take months, sometimes even years, but now the House Intelligence Committee chair says it doesn't take a genius to see that we don't have that kind of time here.
Before Lee County can replace its ailing drawbridge, it needs permission from several federal agencies. But Congressman Porter Goss wants to make sure your safety isn't jeopardized by a long, drawn-out permitting process.
I want to assist and make sure that we expedite it because of the public safety questions that are involved.
Representative Goss says our underwater investigation, which uncovered serious erosion beneath parts of the bridge, shows why federal agencies need to act now. Our diver found a cavern opening up that's so big he could fit his entire body underneath the concrete portion of the bridge. The county also discovered major structural problems with support beams in other critical places.
A problem that was a question perhaps of economics or convenience has now become a problem of public safety. So there's some urgency involved in getting something done.
Federal agencies like the United States Coast Guard issue permits because building a new bridge here will affect boat traffic in a major navigational channel.
We traveled to the Coast Guard's Miami headquarters, where the top boss pledged cooperation, saying he wants a stronger bridge built here as soon as possible.
Our position as an administrative agency would be to facilitate that in every way that we could, in as safe a manner as we could.
But before the federal government can clear the way, Lee County has to decide what kind of bridge to build. Until that happens, Representative Goss says he won't intervene, but he will encourage the county to make a quick decision.
I don't think we can go on forever just assuming that bridge is going to continue standing.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service will both play a part in deciding what kind of bridge gets built here and how it gets built. Reporting live with photojournalist Brian Kay, I'm Mark Greenblatt. Now back to you.